other thing is, or at the debate, the other thing for me is that for the last week, Gavin Newsom, why am I giving him advice? You have to stop it with the Twitter thing. I don't know where his wife is. If I were his wife, I would say, "What? You are making a fool of yourself. Stop it. Do not let your staff tweet. And if you're doing it yourself, put the phone away and start over. And if you really, he's got a big job as governor of California, but if he wants an even bigger job, he has to be a little bit more serious."
So there is MAGA Fox News host Dana Perino, former George W. Bush press secretary, getting very triggered, as an increasing number of MAGA Fox hosts are, about Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom trolling them and Trump on social media. But what makes this particularly interesting is not only did Governor Newsom respond to Dana Perino, but so did Pod Save America co-host Jon Favreau, and Dana Perino responded to him. But the internet as a whole is brutally mocking Perino for the obvious fucking hypocrisy. And then she tries to gaslight people by moving the goalpost about what she actually was complaining about. This is hilarious. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, in response to Dana Perino on The Five, co-host of Jessica Tarlov, saying what she said, and by the way, I should note, when I saw that clip and I listened to Dana Perino, I'm like, this is really dumb. But thank God Jessica Tarlov will be there to point out the obvious double standard. Be like, Dana, you celebrate or ignore when Trump does this. He has a bigger job even than California governor. So if you tolerate it for Trump, you should be able to tolerate it just fine for Newsom. Or if it's disqualifying for Newsom, it's objectively more disqualifying for Trump. Either way, you lose, Dana. Unfortunately, for that episode, Jessica Tarlov was not in attendance, and Harold Ford Jr. was sitting in the liberal seat, and he's useless. He's just absolutely useless. So anyway, it went unanswered. In response, Gavin Newsom replied. He says, they still don't get it. Newsom account dunks on Dana Perino for ripping his Trump-like tweets. California Governor Gavin Newsom's ex account roasted Dana Perino, who advised the governor to stop his all-caps social media posts. Parino took a moment to criticize Newsom, whose official press account has mimicked Donald Trump. Parino omitted any mention of Trump's rambling social media posts, which are often in all caps. In response to this, Governor Newsom, and he responded twice to Dana Perino, said, almost a week in, and they still don't get it. And indeed, unfortunately, they do not. Then there was a more fulsome response by the governor's office. Dana Ding Dong Perino, never heard of her until today, is melting down because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. Fox hates that I'm America's most favorite governor, ratings king, saving America, while Trump can't even conquer the big stairs on Air Force One anymore. Trump has lost his step, and Fox is losing it because when I type, America now wins. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GCN. And this post came out, what time was that? So less than 4 hours ago, and it's at 56,000 likes. That's a lot, especially for a new account. Okay, now that's hilarious and good on Newsom for continuing to troll and mock and belittle and trigger these fucking unprincipled losers. Now, Jon Favreau, of Pod Save America, he took a slightly more tactful approach, but he also called her out. He says, absolutely, Gavin should take a lesson from Donald Trump on this. Hey, at Dana Perino, what do you think of the president's social media habits? And what's interesting is Perino responded to Favreau. Copying isn't a good look, and it isn't working. He should come up with his own original content, as you did, and have been successful with. And that's very nice with Perino. And I should say, listen, I've never met Dana Perino. Perino, of the 4 co-hosts on The Five, is the one who annoys me the least. Waters annoys me. Gutfeld annoys me. Jeanine Pirro, before she became the U.S. friggin' attorney for Washington, D.C. Jesus. She annoyed me. Parino was the one who annoyed me the least because she kind of had a foot in both worlds. So again, not an unhinged MAGA lunatic, although she is increasingly MAGA as a Fox News host. So that was very cordial. Hey, John, you've been very successful and you have original content. And she responded. So Favreau replied as well. I mean, it's pretty clearly a parody of Trump's absolutely insane, all caps, often nonsensical posts. Probably why all the people in my life who aren't political junkies keep reaching out to say they don't know much about Newsom, but think the tweets are hilarious. Humor and mockery can be quite effective. Dana Perino responded again, and she said, cool, if it works and he's your 2028 nom, I will buy you dinner. Again, very cordial. Now, we'll get into some of the responses to Parino here. And I should say, I should have had mine brought up, and I'm going to go find mine. But what's actually, first, I should say, she says it's not working. Well, according to who? I mean, she's getting ratioed. Again, let me check this. Only 10 likes, 50 replies. It's a pretty brutal ratio for Dana. Then 38 replies to 25 likes. Again, pretty brutal. Sounds like people don't like your post, Dana. Sounds like your posts are not working and working far less than Governor Newsom's are. So are you a failure? Should people be lecturing you? There's no evidence that this isn't working. Just none. It may not. It may be an absolute failure. It may not move the needle in the grand scheme of things, but it is absolutely working now. And I found my post. Because again, Dana says copying isn't a good look and it isn't working. But as I point out, that's not what she was complaining about. I said, Dana's full of shit, LMAO. Don't let her gaslight you. She wasn't criticizing Newsom's originality. She was complaining that his posts are unbecoming of a political leader. She didn't say, I don't mind. She didn't say, listen, it's okay for Newsom as a governor or even as a president to slam his political opponents. Trump does it all the time. But I just don't think it's very original because he's mimicking Trump, and I think he'd be better off finding his own voice. That would be, I would still disagree with that, but that would be a cognizable good faith criticism. What she said is he wasn't being serious, and he's got a big job as California governor. If he wants a bigger job, the presidency, he needs to be serious. Again, indicating that his posts are indecorous, indecent, unbecoming. That also condemns Trump. So again, I say she wasn't criticizing Newsom's originality. She was complaining that his posts are unbecoming of a political leader. But since Trump does this all the time and Dana doesn't care, she's a hypocrite, and she is. And thus she deserves the mockery she's getting. So let's take a look. We'll even refresh the page. Let's take a look at the responses. Dan Pfeiffer, also Pod Save America, says, truly one of the least self-aware statements in recent history from someone on a pro-Trump propaganda network. Aaron Frischner says, congratulations to everyone, past, present, and future, who is falling into the most obvious trap in human history. Sahil Kapoor, NBC, says, indeed, can you imagine someone elected to a big political job persistently posting self-aggrandizing tweets while taunting and insulting rivals in all caps? Governor Newsom again saying, almost a weekend and they still don't get it. This is exactly the kind of response Newsom is hoping to evoke from Trump defenders who have spent years glossing over what the president does. They know what Newsom is doing. They just can't admit it because that would imply Trump's own Twitter demeanor is appalling, which is exactly the point. Tom Nichols, conservative, so close to getting it. Ben Rhodes, formerly of the Obama White House, unreal that these MAGA zombies don't get the bit, and completely confirms the point of the bit, which is almost like a work of art. Ahmed Baba says they still don't get it, do they? Gavin Newsom and his team are mocking how Trump and Republicans have shamelessly behaved for the past 10 years. He's holding up a mirror to their tactics. When they condemn Newsom's post, they're condemning themselves. Midas Touch says Fox says Gavin Newsom needs to stop with the Twitter thing and that he's making a fool of himself with his unserious, all caps posts. H. Mitch says, at Dana Perino, what a hypocritical hissy fit. Crawl out from under your rock and peruse Fox News executive producer Donald Trump's Truth Social account sometime. Newsom is holding a mirror up to Trump. It's high time someone is doing so. Incoherent rants on social media is only for their favorite president. Yeah. So again, it's good that people are calling this out and making fun of Dana Perino. Listen, whatever your standard is, that's fine. I mean, I would prefer, if I had a magic wand, it would be a West Wing style civil universe in which we litigate disagreements in good faith with kindness. But that's not the world we live in, primarily, not exclusively, but primarily because of Donald Trump. And Fox News hosts either celebrated it or ignored it. But either way, that means they have absolutely no credibility to bitch about Gavin Newsom. They have no credibility, and Newsom and other Democratic leaders have every right to brutally mock Trump, elected Republicans, and other major right-wing figures like Dana Perino. And it's funny to watch them get triggered about this and to be mocked so universally over their hypocrisy and lack of principles. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.